Have you ever seen pictures of a balding scalp and thought, ew, no way this is gonna be me? Turns out, it's more likely than you may think, even if you're a girl. Androgenic alopecia, aka AGA, is a common form of hair loss found in both women and men. While the inheritance of AGA is unclear, it seems to mainly cluster around two main contributors, both which are either genetic or environmental factors. As for where the disorder originates from, alopecia is a sex-linked trait and is a mutation found in a specific spot on the X chromosome. This spot is the XQ1112 gene. Here's what we do know. In males, the patterns of baldness follow the hairline in a receding M shape and can eventually lead to complete balding. Now in women, there seems to be no pattern in balding and visually is just a gradual thinning of hair in general. While it usually does not result in complete baldness in women, no one likes hair thinning. And not just balding either. Patients can lose a shine in their hair, grow rough fingernails, and unusual split ends. Alopecia can be diagnosed visually or through a biopsy, especially since it can appear around adolescent years. A biopsy can be conducted to check for androgenic as well as inflammatory alopecia, and a hair pluck test can be done to investigate the ratio of anagen, catagen, and telogen hairs. A normal hair cycle of scalp hair includes a growth, movement, and resting phase. The anagen phase lasts for 2 to 6 years, and the duration of the anagen phase defines hair length and pigmentation. Next, there's the catagen phase for 2 to 3 weeks, where the hair moves from the follicle and up to the surface. Lastly, the resting phase is where the hair simply presents itself in all its glory. Normally, 80 to 90% of hairs in the hairy part of the scalp are active in this growth phase. This cycle repeats itself constantly. Androgen is the key hormone in this mix. When excess androgen is introduced to the hair follicle cells, it amplifies the transduction and shortens the anagen phase, not giving it enough time to develop healthy and long hairs. AGA affects the dermal papillae, a group of cells that surrounds a hair follicle and nourishes it with oxygen and other nutrients. These cells can produce their own androgens, like testosterone, for example. A particular enzyme, 5-A reductase, produces dihydrotestosterone, mainly in beards. In an affected patient, DP cells from an androgen-sensitive frontal scalp contains more of these than those from an androgen-insensitive scalp. Androgen receptors are only found in DP cells. After laboratory research, a common trend in DP cells has been found that the balding ones appear to have a significant increased amount of these androgen receptors. Now look at all those androgen receptors. Disgusting. In a normal cell, the 5-A reductase triggers the production of dihydrotestosterone, which signals DP cells through tyrosine kinase receptors. When these receptors form dimers, as in two come together, it triggers the phosphorylation cascade down to where the AR gene is altered within the cell's nucleus, causing the production of various proteins that enable hair growth in the anagen phase. However, when taking a look at an androgenic alopecia-afflicted cell, mutated and excess androgen receptors cause an over-signaling of dihydrotestosterone, which drastically increases the production of hair-growing proteins, and becoming damaging by shortening the anagen phase, resulting in weak hairs and them falling out. This obviously leads to balding. Currently, treatment of alopecia is moving towards DHT treatment. Remember 5-A reductase, and remember how it can lead to dihydrotestosterone being produced? Well, if we have negative regulation on this 5-A reductase, it can inhibit DHT production. This, in turn, would reduce the expression of AR-related genes, and lower the overproduction of hair-harming proteins, and allow hair to grow properly and develop properly in the anagen phase. Hopefully we can say goodbye to balding heads. Well, that's all we got. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. We make new videos every single day, so tune in next year where we'll be talking about entropy, enthalpy, and all that fun stuff. Bye!